Hi, beautiful Pisces. Welcome to a new era. My name is Emma. Pisces, we're gonna just get into your reading as usual. However, before I start these readings, I sit down in a little bit of a meditation, and it's to sort of separate my energy from your energy, so that my energy doesn't leak into your reading, to your answers. And when I do, I sometimes get images or words, or I see things or whatever, stuff starts to come out that's related to your reading. And I usually don't talk about them because it's just a little thing that happens when I'm in this meditation. But then I figured maybe I can just on purpose sit down and really ask for something to come out that is specifically for you and that makes you feel more connected. To understand that spirit really is here and they really hear you, and it's really, you're not just one of hundreds or sometimes thousands of people like sitting on the other end of this reading. You actually matter, and spirit hears you, and that's going to just strengthen as we continue with these readings, as you ask maybe for a little bit of a sign, like, or some specific word or some specific whatever that is, that it might be picked up in my meditation, and I'll deliver that to you. So we're going to see how this can expand. Today, though, I only got 2 things, and then that was it. 2 things. So, and I can't force something to come out, so maybe there's a point to why it's only 2 things that ties into the reading. The first thing out is silver. I just saw the color silver, and it wasn't that shiny. It was like a matte, like a do you say that? Like a matte finish. Yeah, it was not shiny or blingy or anything. It was like very. It wasn't gray, because gray is gray and silver is silver, but it's like, yeah, it was a matte finish, and I just got the color. I didn't get anything around it. So if someone just looks at something that's silverish, or silver is your thing, or you just put on like a piece of clothing that is silver, or you just put on jewelry, or you just got some jewelry that is silver, or whatever silver is. Like silver can, I guess, can be a name as well. Silver, perhaps not a surname, but like a last name. Jenna Silver. So silver is coming out. I guess coins. I'm trying to just figure out what this could be related to. And then I see a scarf blowing away. I just saw a scarf blowing away. So it can't be like one of those heavy, do you say a scarf when it's like a really, like halsduk? What they have in winter time. So this has to be a little bit lighter, because I just saw how it sort of came undone and just blew off. So that is like such a specific message. So someone, perhaps as you were walking outside and started listening to this, or this just happened today, or just, a day ago. It can't be like 6 months ago or a year ago. This just happened to you. The fact that I'm saying like a scarf blew away, or like it just might have not like taken off, but like you had an incident with your scarf, then that message is for you. Spirit is a little bit extra reaching out to you there. So let's see if that ties in whatsoever to the reading, or if that's just a little bit of a side note here. So we're going to start with 3 initial cards here, with the wisdom of the oracle, and get a foundation for you. And then we're just going to go deeper into this message to find you inspiration, information, and if there's some sort of solution that's needed. That's usually towards when we have the whole reading, like, okay, here's the solution to this. First card out is mending, number 52. So something is at the very end of, we're mending something and we're at the very end of it, like it's coming to a close, numerology wise there. Sorry, I just want to was that really the card? Okay. It's flip it and come out. To the sea. Following your intuition, following the flow, following where it takes you. Number 7 is also talking about a completion, like it's time to enjoy what you have created for yourself. What else for beautiful Pisces, please? And this is for the month of March. You can see it as like, because I usually do the readings like a month into the future. So it's a March reading, but see it like as a mid-March until mid-April type of thing. There you go. Second card out is Fork in the Road. Number 13, so there's death leading to life, there's transformation or transition. And then number 26, happy, happy. Happy, happy. And 26 is a lot about balance and finding that love and harmony within yourself, getting your strength back, getting your power back, creating literally whatever you want in your life. These are beautiful cards. So we're starting with this mending card. It's interesting because you see, for some reason, so that is tying into the fork in the road somehow. Let's see how that, in this card, and don't ask me where I see it, I just see it. I see a little llama, and we have the llama here. Is it really a llama? Do they have those horns? It looks like a llama. That there's a llama in the fork in the road. There's a llama in here as well. So there's something that ties into the fork in the road, ties into the transformation or transition. There's some sort of mending going on here. There's a coming together. If there's been a hiccup between you and another person, between you and other people, if there's been a little bit of what is that called? People pleasing, like you're trying to please others. Like they might be, I don't want to say like this is about being right or wrong, but it might be that you feel like you're dealing with someone that's like, they're just not happy, or they're just throwing a fit if you're doing something that they don't like, and you're just trying to mend the situation, you're trying to please them so that they'll feel happy, even though it's a little bit to the expense of you, if that makes sense. And so I think that you've carried someone else for a little bit, and maybe a little bit too long, and we're coming into the closing stages of this. Like if there's someone that you always had their back, even to the point where you felt like, you know, something's really wrong here. Like something is not as it should be. Like you're carrying some codependency comes up. We might have had this last week as well, Pisces. I'm not going to swear on it, but it might tie in a little bit. Right. So there's a situation here where perhaps Pisces has carried someone else. Did you pay their bills? Did you cover for them? Did you like you're letting them off the hook a little bit too easy? I don't know if it's necessarily codependency, like if it's that heavy, if that makes sense, but it's like covering up for someone where you really should just put your foot down and say, you know what? Clean up your own mess, or pay your own bills, or I covered for you for so long now. I was supposed to do that like one time, and look at me 15 years later. It might not be, I'm over exaggerating, but, or am I? Maybe there's something to it because even though it's a joke, like because 15 years feels like a really, really long time, and I hope that's not the case for you. But if it is, there's some sort of mending though. There's some sort of beautiful, it might not be that you're cutting cords with someone, or that you're, you know, the people-pleasing person. And you know if this is true, Pisces, if you walk into a room and there's a conflict, you just immediately have the urge to solve it. You're not one of those people saying, you know, that's not my problem. Like, I'm going to just walk out of here. You have an instantaneous feeling of like, can I solve this in some way? You might have no idea what they're talking about, but if you can somehow help, which is a beautiful trait. It's such a beautiful characteristic to have, until it sort of backfires on you. When you're starting to lose a little bit of a part of yourself, when you're starting to drain your resources. Does that make sense? Whether you're draining your resources on money, on emotion, on time, on energy, like whatever it is that you're spending on this person to cover up, or to just try to please them so they'll be happy. So it might even be several people. Are you a people pleaser or a person pleaser? Like, and overall that may have been your thing, we're coming to the mending usually is talking about how how both parties are like, we're understanding we can't do this anymore. Like both parties understand that. I don't feel like it's going to be like one of those you need to cut someone out, or like say like you have to stand on your own 2 feet now, bye bye, like to cut them out of your life all together. This feels like it's a mending, and we're coming together and we're understanding this. It's 52. So there's 52 weeks in a year. And so we're coming into the final week of this. Like there's like a make or break situation here. Like there's a conversation that's going to be had. I just realized 5 plus 2 equals 7, which also came out. I showed you. This is how it came out, which is it's time to enjoy your own. It's almost like you're baking cakes only to give them away. It's time to enjoy your own cake. Like it's time for you to keep your cake. It's not even, eating your cake and eat your cake and have it too. It's just for the love of yourself, keep the cake you've been baking. Okay? It's like there's something that you really have worked for, and it's almost like, okay, so I'm going to work every day and I'm getting money for the work that I do, only to give the money away. Like spend the money on yourself. I'm not saying don't help people. That's not what I'm saying, but you know what I'm talking about. But we're in the final week of this, and there is a fork in the road here, and I feel like it ties into it. It really ties into it. We have number 13 there, which is death leading to life. There's a transformation happening. We are at a crossroads. We're with the fork in the road. It's like, okay, this is going to have a new direction. We're going to move in a new direction with this one. Like, we're not going to do this anymore. And before, it might have been like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or it could have literally be like the arrows are implying here, like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like you think you're on the right path. We're having conversations. This time they're going to do it on their own. Or like this time they're not going to throw a fit that you then try to cover up, or whatever this is for you. Like, so I'm going to return to the pay the bills. It doesn't have to be that whatsoever, but it's like an easy analogy. So it's like you had this conversation that it's okay. So from now on, you're going to start to pay your bills. Yeah. And you think it's like a step forward, and you think like you're having that conversation about something, only to find out that we have now gone 2 steps back. Like, not only have they not paid their bill, but they actually took your money that they were going to pay it with another time, and they spent that money on something else than rent, or something like that. Like they keep promising you that there's going to be a shift, or there's going to be a change, whether this is someone in your immediate family, parents, children, friends, that there's something here, like there's going to be a shift here. There's a transformation taking place here. And look at it. So the happy, it's like this probably, once you're in it, you don't even think about how much of a draining energy this is. You might not say that this is overly like taking up the time in your mind. Like you're not overly thinking about this. You might think, but once this gets solved, once this people pleasing stops, like once you stop trying to make everyone around you happy, if just everyone else is happy, you're happy, that's not true. When you sort of give back the power and you give back the responsibility to where it belongs, and you'll go, you figure it out. You figure your own happiness out, and I'll figure out my own. Like I just feel the immense energy that's going to come back to you that you don't spend fixing it for everyone else so that everyone else is happy, or cover something up for someone, or helping someone / depriving them of, I know this is harsh, but helping someone / depriving them on their own power. I was like, probably, I'm going to use this story. how old could I have been? Maybe 20, no, even I was even older. Maybe 26. But I had my first baby. Sorry for taking time. I had my firstborn when I was 25. So I couldn't have been. I just want to make a point here. I was not 15. I was not 15. I was like, I should have been on my own 2 feet. I was like I was in the mid 20s somewhere. Okay? And I either just had a baby or, and I was so relying on my mother to get money. I was so relying on her for that. And it came to a point where she just said, sometimes I question her methods, and sometimes I feel like it's pretty good that I turned out the way that I did due to her things. But this one gave me my power back. It was one of those days where she was just, you know what? I remember the word still. Min kanal till dig är stängd. My channel to you is closed. My pipeline to you is closed. My lending hand to you is closed. Like this has coming to like a close. I flipped. I was getting into a panic stage because I didn't know by then that the money didn't come through my mother. She was just a vessel for the universe. You want a straight line. If you want to help someone, close the channel. And yes, it's going to look ugly for a little bit. It might look ugly. I don't know how long I threw a fit, and I probably yelled stuff at her like, oh, what a horrible mother. What a horrible mother. To cut me off like that. It wasn't her responsibility to provide me with money. I could make my own money. But I didn't have to. Because she never really, like she probably, I don't even know, but she probably had to talk about it every single time. Like I needed to get something on my own to get like financially stable. But yeah, I so vividly remember that time. And then what happened next was that I started to just find my own, and because I was so freaking pissed off, because I just thought in the core of my being that she was such an ugly being for not helping me. How could you do that? My own mother, But then to realize that the money doesn't come through my mother, or the gifts doesn't come through your parents, or the help doesn't come, it's not your parents. We think it is. But there's actually a straight line to the universe. And I can't say for sure or for certain when I started to really feel more and more powerful in myself. I don't know how long it took. A couple of months, couple of years. I can't say. That's a long time ago. Turning 48 this year. So just so that you understand, like there's been some time since then. And so to understand, that was probably the biggest freak out I've ever felt in terms of panic. Where was truly the money? I just felt it in her being. She was like, no, I've had enough. The money was not going to come from her. It didn't matter how tough situation I was going to be in. The money was not going to come from her. And I felt it. And I panicked. I panicked for a bit. And then slowly the power set in. From anger, probably, from frustration, power started to set in. I started to feel powerful because I was able to manage something on my own. And because, at least back then, she didn't really know how to feel empathy. She didn't care that I was like in severe upset situations. So if you're trying to cut someone off, if you're trying to say, I believe in you. I see your power. I see your strength. I know you can fix this on your own. They probably going to throw a fit. Or if you're not coming in there as a hero of the day to try to save the situation, whatever this is, they might feel like what's happened to her. She's usually so helpful, and then all of a sudden she's not, like, or he. I'm just talking about like my mother. Obviously, or her or him, like they are not coming to your rescue anymore. They're gonna feel it, and they might throw a little bit of a fit. That's okay. If my mother would have like turned around again to say, okay, I'm just gonna help you out a 37th time, I wouldn't be so self-sufficient and so powerful in the way that I feel in myself today. I have a direct link to the universe. You're going to bring happy back to yourself. The amount of energy is what I started out saying. I feel like you don't even understand the amount of energy it takes to keep someone else floating when it's not yours to do. When it's inspired, you're both, or you're thrice, or you're fourth, like however many people is involved in this. You're all thriving. You're all feeling so energized, like, oh man, that I could help you with this. When it comes to through pure inspiration, but when it comes through like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, can you please, like, it's not coming from an inspired place whatsoever. It's so energy draining. It's so energy draining for you to be a people pleaser as well. You're going to find that energy back. You're going to get it back. I'm going to move this into the extension and see what else I can find there for you. So please follow me there if you want. 2 links to that in the description box. 1 to Vimeo and 1 to Buy Me a Coffee. The Buy Me a Coffee place is a donation site, so you can just go on there to just support the channel overall, but it then opens up to all the extendees, not for just your sign, but to every other sign that I posted there before and that I will post in the future. Or not, then thank you so much for watching, Pisces. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really will help me. It doesn't cost you a thing. You're not committing to a thing. You can just click the subscribe, and then you can click it again to say, no, I don't want to subscribe. And then if you want to get like notifications that I've uploaded, there's a little bell right next to it. You can just click the bell. So that's what I have for you. See some of you in the extendees. Take care, guys.